family, peace and love. Welcome to another powerful discussion with your sister, Dr. Maat. You see the title, family. Today we're going to be talking about, or tonight we're going to be talking about Carlee Russell. Kidnapping for clout. Is that the new thing to do? Well, we know it's not the new thing because we know Jessie Smollett, he pulled that stunt maybe what a couple of years back. And you know who Jessie Smollett is, the dude off of Empire, the actor. And his career hasn't been the same ever since. And so this isn't the first time. And in fact, during the news stories that are circulating about Carlee Russell, there was actually another young female who staged a kidnapping, and she's facing some jail time. And so, anyway, family, tonight we're going to be talking about that, and of course, just this whole idea of clout, with this generation, and not even just this generation. It's even people in my generation and the older generation, what we think or how we perceive clout. What is that? You get what I'm saying? And everybody's trying to get it, but really, what they're calling clout is attention. And so, anyway, family, we'll get into that. But before we do, I'm going to play a song that I wrote, family. This was a song that I wrote. DJ, he used to go by DJ Finesse. He now goes by DJ King Freeman. Make sure that you check him out. Hip Hop Ain't Dead. Hip Hop Ain't Dead. All you have to do is go to YouTube and type in Hip Hop Ain't Dead, and DJ King Freeman is going to pop up. He has thousands of streams on his YouTube channel. He puts out like a Hip Hop Ain't Dead mixtape. I'm saying mixtape, but you already know you're streaming it, right? So I guess I should say mixed tracks, right? Like every week, and he's doing numbers right now, and I appreciate him leading this movement, right? One of the leaders of this movement, Hip Hop Ain't Dead. So shout out to DJ King Freeman. So anyway, he did the beat. I wrote the lyrics, and I wrote the lyrics for, and I see Sister Marcia Pender. Sister Marcia, look what I have right here, Queen. The note that you wrote me. This was a note that you had wrote me a while ago. I keep it right here. I came across it today. I was cleaning off my desk, and it was right here in the corner. And so I always keep it here. And then there are other notes. When you all send me notes and stuff like that, I get messages, I get notes. I get, some of you all send me thank you cards, and they're right here on my desk. I don't want you all to think that I read them and throw them away. They're right on my desk. And so it was funny because I was thinking about you earlier, and I said, I'm going to show, the next time this sister tunes in, I'm going to show her the note that she wrote me. And so anyway, I'm going to play this song. Like I said, I was a teenager when I wrote it, and when I performed it, DJ King Freeman, he did the beat, and it was about a really, really good friend of mine. He's like a friend. He's everything, a friend, a brother, everything, best friend, brother, everything that I could ask for wrapped up in one. And at this particular time when I wrote it, he was incarcerated. And I was going through it, because, ever since I was 12, I had him. He was right there, my friend, my protector. And so he was right there. So when he was incarcerated, I was upset, of course, depressed. And I wrote this song for him. And everything in this song, I want you all to listen to the words. Everything in this song, I'm telling the truth, even down to me being mad with his cousin DB. So, this is young Dr. Maat. This is probably over 22 years, but I'm going to play the song for you. I know I usually play like somebody else's song, but today I said, I'm going to play my song. Look, I just text him, and I said, I'm playing your song. And he said, I tuned in, just not signed in. So he's actually listening. So Mook, I know you're listening. I love you. I just decided to play my song, Missing You. So I wanted to play that. But let me shout out to my audience family. I see Shakara King Black is in the building. Black African Power to your warrior. I see you with the RBG. Peace and love to your warrior. Sister Marcia Pender's in the building. She said, amen. I've been wondering your thoughts on this story. Absolutely, Queen. And I'm going to drop the link so you all can share your thoughts with me. You know what I mean? So I'm going to say give my spill, and then I'll drop the link so you can come in and tell me your thoughts. I seen another Queen Mother in the building, Virgo Venom. She said, shout out to the family. Yes, this story had me confused, right? She said, this story had me confused. I see the brothers of the UK. He said, peace, Dr. Maat, peace to your warrior. I see Baba Cliff is in the building. He said, good evening to everyone. Sister Marcia Pender said, I don't feel regretful for praying for this sister, but dang, she said, I can't believe she may have made this story up. Yeah, for attention. That's what I'm talking about. I see extra money in the building. Peace and love to your warrior. I see Water Snipers in the building. He said, does any part of Carlee Russell's story make sense? Not at all, Warrior. So, I'm going to get into that. I see the Warrior Vincent is in the building. Vincent Valentine. He said, much love, Dr. Maat. Peace and blessings to the Maadian family. I see Jamila, the queen, is in the building. Peace and love to your queen. So I'm going to play this song and then I'll be right back. I'm not going anywhere. I'll be sitting here, but I got to play this song. And like I said, this is a young Dr. Maat. So I might be off a little beat, my voice a little high pitch, but it's all good. And after this, we're going to get into it, family. Here we go.
This goes out to all the lockdown and deceased. We missing you. Caught in the game, caught in the struggle. We missing you, we missing you. To all my niggas locked, hey yo, we missing you. The way ain't the same since you gone, cause we missing you. I pour a little nigga here to me, cause you ain't running the streets. One love goes out to all my lockdown people. To all my niggas locked, hey yo, we missing you. The way ain't the same since you gone, cause we missing you. I pour a little nigga here to me, cause you ain't running the streets. One love goes out to all my lockdown people. Time has surely flown since you made it known you wasn't coming home. Now I'm all alone, waiting by the phone for your call. Excuse the pause, cause I'm hurt. Cause the sad thing this time you wasn't even doing dirt. Code in the system, they saying you violated your beat, but you was working stacking paper for your unforeseen. And that court, no support. I heard the judge did you foul because you was black. Looked at you like a wild child. Sorry I didn't make the date. It was too late when I got the facts, because no fan was there. The judge gave you the max. Put me down for a visit slot and check your packages, because I'm gonna make a drop. And hold your hand, be strong. This is a monkey wrench we gotta pull through. But nigga know that every day that I'm missing you. To all my niggas locked, hey yo, we missing you. The way ain't the same since you gone, cause we missing you. I pour a little liquor here to be, cause you ain't running the streets. One love goes out to all my lockdown peeps. To all my niggas locked, hey yo, we missing you. The way ain't the same since you gone, cause we missing you. I pour a little liquor here to be, cause you ain't running the streets. One love goes out to all my lockdown peeps. You ain't missing shit, the block hasn't changed. Names still the same. I ran into some chickens trying to claim your name. Your baby mother's doing fine. You see me here in 4 months time. She came around the way the other day to show off a ride. I'm mad at your cousin DB, though we was family until I got the yacking and this nigga rolled out on me. And now I ain't got no rap. If you would see, I bet you had my back. The first nigga ready to scrap. You always was the heart of the crew, telling me stories how you ballin' out with Sam and Boo. And this is from the heart, all the shit you told me. Best believe I hold it, and don't be afraid of collect, cause I'm here. So all my niggas locked, hey yo, we missing you. The way ain't the same since you gone, cause we missing you. I pour a little nigga here to be, cause you ain't running the streets. One love goes out to all my lockdown peeps. To all my niggas locked, hey yo, we missing you. The way ain't the same since you gone, cause we missing you. I pour a little nigga here to be, cause you ain't running the streets. One love goes out to all my lockdown peeps. Niggas not only locked, every day somebody's pop. Getting knocked by each other or by some crooked cops. You know I'm on the watch for the fame, cause I be damaged if you won't go over some beef crabs. Drugs is definitely not a hoe. We out to get the dough, that's a plus. But trust for each other, my niggas ready to bust and have each other back. Pick up the slack and in the attack. You always got a soft nigga in every pack. The nigga you wanna smack, but it's so good cause it's a part of life. You got niggas that live by the sword, end up by the knife, and innocent victims die. I wonder why, so I ask myself, living in this life, you see a lot of sorrow. To all my niggas locked, hey yo, we missing you. The way ain't the same since you gone, cause we missing you. I pour a little nigga here to be, cause you ain't running the streets. One love goes out to all my lockdown peeps. To all my niggas locked, hey yo, we missing you. The way ain't the same since you gone, cause we missing you. I pour a little nigga here to be, cause you ain't running the streets. One love goes out to all my lockdown peeps. Hey yo, we missing you. Hey yo, we missing you. Hey yo, I'm missing you. My nigga Trey. Hey yo, I'm missing you. I miss you. I'm missing you. We missing you.
Oh my goodness, family. This is taking me back. I don't think y'all understand. This track just took me back like 20 plus years. Again, he's listening. Love you, Mook Mook. Took you back 20 years. He sent me a text. He said, I got him at work blushing right now, family. But love you, Mook Mook. Love you. And ain't nothing changed. He and I have been going strong for 30 years now. 30 years. All right, family. So we're going to hop into it. Peace and love again to everyone under the sound of my voice. You see the topic. Carlee Russell kidnapping for clout, kidnapping for clout. And so, family, I mean, I know you got the news like I did. This sister, she was missing, right? Like she was missing, and the internet went crazy. They said that she placed the word was that she placed a 911 call. She saw a toddler in a diaper walking along the highway. She placed a 911 call, and they actually released the 911 call. She placed the 911 call, and she told the dispatcher that she was looking at a child in a diaper walking along the highway, which sounds weird, but she reported that. And then next like she's missing, so the internet is like, oh my goodness, and of course, living, right now and in these day and times, a lot of people talk about black femicide, the black femicide rate, and how a lot of black women are being kidnapped, being abducted, they're gone missing, they're being murdered. And so anyway, so that people are like on edge. A lot of black women are on edge, and even black men, right, who have mothers and sisters and daughters and aunties and nieces and female cousins. Like everybody's kind of on edge, like, oh my goodness, because a lot of people are like, hold up, black women are under attack. We always talk about black men being under attack, but there's this push now where they're like, no, black women, we're under attack, and so it's all of this stuff going on, right? And so people are like frantic. They're looking for the sister. People trying to, you know how when something like this happens, you start having a social media detective. So people start turning in, people start turning into detectives online. And, even police officers have talked about how instrumental social media has been in solving cases. Sometimes social media detectives will solve the cases before the daggone detectives, family. So even detectives now, law enforcement are now saying, shoot, sometimes when I'm talking about, I've looked at interviews where I've heard it out of, their mouths, where the law enforcement would say, well, yeah, we were watching social media, even the shooting that happened in Baltimore. The detectives said they were going through social media videos to find the people who were responsible for the mass shooting in Baltimore a few weeks ago down in the Brooklyn area, which is in South Baltimore. So they actually, some of the suspects, they identified them, because what these young people do when they go to parties, right? So they went through all of the footage that was posted online, and they watched things that were being said. And I think a few of them, I'm not sure if any of them have been apprehended, because I don't watch the news like that. But I do know they identified one suspect. The police actually saw him taking the AR out of the bag, had his whole face and everything. And once they get you on camera, they get your face, they run it through the system. You run it on Google, everywhere the face is. That's so facial recognition technology, man, you got to be careful when you post your pictures online and stuff like that, because people, even like right now, me doing this video, someone can snap a picture, boop, upload it on the Google facial recognition. Everywhere my picture is, it'll show up, right? So anyway, with this particular sister, Carlee Russell, so the internet got involved. And so people are like looking and trying to trace her last steps. I mean, people going through stuff, searching stuff right along with the detectives, only for the detectives to come back and say, well, wait a minute, this story doesn't sound right. Because they started tracing her steps. They started pulling camera footage, because when you're driving along a highway, you're driving through communities, there are cameras. So the detectives started tracing her steps, and they started pulling tapes, video footage, right? They started looking at her phone, text messages. They started looking at her Google searches. They were like, wait a minute, something isn't right. And when that came out, I can tell you, family, I was extremely disappointed, because the next black woman that may be really missing, people are going to say, yeah, well, remember what happened with Carlee Russell? Remember what happened with, such and such. People are not going to believe you. It's like, when you're young and they tell us the story, the little boy who cried wolf, right? And he kept crying wolf. And then one day when the wolves came, no one helped him out, because they said, they thought it was another false alarm, another lie. And so they didn't show up. And so what I'm afraid of is that, and I know it's not fair, because you all are going to say, well, black women aren't a monolith. Just because she lied don't mean the next woman lied. I get that. But the reality is, when you start having stuff like this happen where a black woman's crying wolf and saying, then when another one says, "Oh, I'm missing," the internet is going, man, man, is this another Carlee Russell situation?" So we gotta be, we can't play these types of games. These are games. And in my opinion, then the question becomes, well, why does she do it? Like if all of this stuff is fake, then why does she do it? And the only thing that I could think of is clout, right? Because attention is the new clout. Having attention, people tweeting your name, people hashtagging your name, right? It's the new clout. Attention is the new clout. Look how many followers I have. Look at how many comments I have. Look at how many likes I have. I said, damn, what does the world come to where you have people faking kidnappings, faking being sick? You got some people who will fake being sick. You have people who will fake being sick. People will fake kidnappings. You got people like Jessie Smollett will fake an attack by racists. He got attacked by for clout. Just so people will tweet your name, so people will hashtag your name, so you can get followers, so you can get attention. This is sick. Family, this is sick. This is mental illness. When I'm on the internet and I see the things that people post, I see the mental illness that's pervasive in our contemporary society. So some people may laugh at some of the stuff. This is mental illness. When you're scrolling down your feed, and you see people beating the hell out of each other, when you see the women twerking and doing all kinds of foolishness in restaurants, stupid stuff. I want to curse, but my mother's right there. Stupid stuff, family. Stupid. Like, it's sick. It's sick. Like, another thing that gets me, family, is this. I remember one time I was on Facebook. I was going through my feed, and a brother, his mom died. And so, he put up the announcement. He was like, yeah, my mom died. And this was some years ago. He was like, my mom died. And, everybody put up the prayer hands and stuff. Then, he put up another picture, like maybe, around the funeral time, of like him crying over her casket. So it, like, the way he took the picture, it's like his face was like, like this, and like the picture's capturing it. And then you see the mom's dead body. Like, you saw her whole dead body and him crying over the casket. And I put in the remarks, brother, get off social media and go grieve your mother. People even use the death of their loved ones for clout, just so someone to say, oh, I'm so sorry that happened to you, or just so they can get hearts or prayer hands from strangers. This is what people do. They will use somebody's sickness. Oh, man, pray for my father, he in the hospital, and then they show you the dad laid up with all of the equipment and the trach in his throat. They show you all of that. Why are you showing this? Why are you projecting that? Let me share something intimate with you, family. I went through a storm in 2019, and Brother Anka Cat and people in the community can attest to this. In 2019, I didn't know whether my mother was going to live or die. I was by her hospital bed. I didn't know. I was supposed to go to a debate in Harlem, New York. Sinetta had hooked up a debate with Ankh. It was Ankh, myself, and Brother Assad Imhotep. We were debating the anti-vaxxers. And so I was supposed to be at that debate. Tell me in the chat if you all remember this. Tell me in the chat, family, if you all remember this. I was supposed to be at the debate and I could not make it. So a lot of people thought that I left Brother Ankh hanging. And I did not leave Brother Ankh hanging. My mom, I took her to the hospital on a Sunday. She didn't want to stay for observation. The following day, which was Monday, she went back. And they kept her. She was in too much pain. She was in a lot of pain. See, a beautiful mind says she remembers. My mom was in a lot of pain. So they kept her on Monday. And then on Friday, they pulled her in for an emergency surgery. That Friday was a nightmare. I didn't know whether she was going to come out. After the surgery, they put her in ICU. And the doctor, I said, well, is she going to make it? And they shrugged. They said, we're not out of the forest yet. And so I didn't know whether my mother was going to live or die. And so for 2 weeks, the family came up. I had family that flew in from California. Her brothers flew in. Her girlfriend, one of her best girlfriends, who's my godmommy, she may be watching, my Aunt Rosa, she came up. She took the night shift. My aunt that I call Segment, my aunt Segment, she and I, we took the day shift. The family, some nights we spent the night. Especially the first few nights, the family, we just stayed there all day and all night. And then my aunt drove up. My mother's best friend drove up from North Carolina, and she took the night shift, and then we took the day shift. And so I never went to the internet and posted pictures of my mother in ICU. I never went to the internet and posted a video telling everybody this is what I'm going through right now. And you all may say, well, Dr. Maat, that's the way you deal with things. No, it's not just the way I deal with things. It's your business. And it seems like there's no filter. People put everything out there. It's not everybody. It wasn't everybody's business to see my mother in ICU. It wasn't anybody's business to see my family sitting in the waiting room praying that she made it out and me recording. How the hell can you be even present during times like this and you have your phone out? Can you all tell me in the chat, how can you even be present, fully present, when your loved one is sick or when your loved one has transitioned or is transitioning and you have your daggone phone out taking pictures and recording videos and put it on the internet? You're not present. And then it's like you're using this opportunity for attention. Not that people shouldn't know. I know some people say, well, I communicate with my family on social media, and so I put things out there because I want to keep in touch with everybody. But who wants to scroll through their phone and see a dead body? Who want to scroll through their phone and see? That's traumatizing. Who wants to see that? Who wants to see somebody? I even see people taking selfies. I had surgery in August of 2019. I had a surgery. I was in the hospital. I didn't put up a picture. I didn't take a selfie and put it up and say, look, everybody, I just got my fibroids removed. Whose business is it? And so we live in this era where people think that everything is for everybody. So much so people think, I'm just going to put it up. We use, I don't even want to say, I'm trying to think of the word that I want to use. I wanted to say trauma, but trauma is not what I want to say. But we use a lot of negative circumstances. Didn't want to say that, but circumstances, and we put it out there on the internet. For what? The only thing I could think of is you're doing it for clout. You're doing it for attention. That's the only thing that I can think of. Otherwise, whose business is it? You just want somebody to say, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. My condolences. God dang it. And this is so pervasive on the internet. I see it all the time. Anything. People do anything for clout. These ridiculous TikTok videos. Anything for clout. People will make a fool out of themselves. People will totally degrade themselves for clout. And the clout is attention. Attention is the new drug. It's the new clout. And people do anything to get it. Anything to get laughs, likes, comments, followers. People do it. And it's sad, family. And it's not just the younger generation. I see my generation doing it. I see the older generation. Anything for clout. And that's what we're doing. People are willing to put their business out there, put their anything to get attention. That's why it's important to heal. Shout out to Dr. Asar Winkler, who always talks about that. That's been his message since I've known him for these almost 10 years. We need to heal. We went around here talking about we building communities, we nation building. Well, how are you going to nation build with a bunch of sick people? People are mentally ill. And you see it every day. Not only do we see it in the community, I'm talking about offline, but we see it online every day. People are sick. People are sick. And this sister right here, Carlee Russell, she's sick. Here we go, family. Let's check it out. Let's look at this 2-minute video. Sick.
Police are casting doubt on a 25-year-old Alabama woman's claim that she was kidnapped from the side of an interstate. Carlee Russell's mother told the Today Show that her daughter was abducted and fought for her life, but investigators say they can't verify her claims. Fox 5 anchor Tom Haynes is at the live desk tonight. Tom, they released some of Russell's Google history.
Yeah, it's quite a bizarre story, Russ. Some of the things she did Google in terms of looking up on the internet was the Liam Neeson movie Taken, whether you have to actually pay to have an Amber Alert issued, and one-way bus tickets to Nashville. Now, Russell told detectives that she was taken by a man who came out of the trees when she stopped to check on a child on the interstate. Not only did her phone show some interesting searches, as we just mentioned, but it also showed that she traveled about 600 yards, all while telling a 911 operator that she was following a 3 or 4-year-old child in a diaper on the side of the highway.
And I do.
Family, let's pause here. Because this is a lot to unpack. This and this is what I teach my students. And I hope that you tell your children this. When you connect to a device on the internet, okay, any device that connects on the internet is called an IoT device. IoT is an acronym for Internet of Things. So your cell phone, any electronic device that connects to the internet is called an IoT device. IoT devices collect and share data, right? Exchange data. So data is being transmitted and received, right? That's what IoT devices do. When you connect to the internet, your IoT or your device gets assigned an IP address. Once you're on the internet, you create what's called a digital footprint. It's a digital footprint. So everything you search online, everything you watch, all of these things, all of the emails that you send, all of this stuff is in your digital footprint. So when someone wants to know you or they want to understand, like a detectives or law enforcement, and they're looking into a murder or they're looking into you being kidnapped or you're missing, they check your digital footprint and it tells them everything. So somebody should have told Carlee that you don't sit there and Google. If you go and do some dirt, you don't Google about it because it's going to be a part of your digital footprint. That's why I always tell my sons, my children, and even my students, don't send stuff. Don't send pictures and post. Be mindful of what you post on the internet. Be mindful of the comments, the pictures, the videos, all the things you post, because all of those things are a part of your digital footprint. And I always tell them there's no such thing as delete. Oh, let me erase my search history. Let me delete these emails. Let me delete this video. It's no such thing in cyberspace as delete. Things get moved from one location to another. That's what happens. Family, thumb up this video. Y'all coming in, got Dr. Maat going off on this Thursday evening. Thumb up this video, family. Also, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit the notification bell so that whenever I go live, you will be notified. Also, family, hit the button right now. Share this discussion. Share it. Put it on your Facebook or your Twitter or your what else you got? Instagram. Put the link out there. Let them know that your sister Dr. Maat is live, family. And then also, family, text this link out. I know you got a family group chat or one of your friends group chat. Chat and tell them come on in here. So anyway, someone should have told Carlee that she shouldn't have been Googling that she was going to do some dirt. You don't Google it. You got these fools committing murder talking about how do you get away with a dead body? How do you get away with, like, come on, yo. Like, you don't know that you're creating a digital footprint? And then they told her while you're on the phone with 911, how smart. I said, critical thinking, boy. Woo! She's on the phone with a 911 operator. And you already know, family, once you make a phone call, your telephone is connected or pinging at the nearest base station. Your cell phone is pinging at the nearest base station. So based on that ping, they can trace your distance. They know, they can tell you how fast you're driving. Think about Google Maps. Or even, for example, my family, we use an app called Life 360, right? And I can pull up where everybody is, right? I can pull up where everyone's location. And if someone is moving, I know how fast they're driving. It tells you, because your cell phones are connected to a base station, which is tracking your power. It's tracking your power, and based on your power, they can determine the distance from your phone to the base station. So she's on the phone. Her phone is connected to a base station, and shout out to Jesse Russell, the father of 2G, the brother who led the team to design the base station, is a black man. Shout out to Jesse Russell. So anyway, family, she's on the cell phone. It's pinging off of the tower. They know how far she's driving, how fast she's driving, and she's telling them she's following a daggone toddler. Make it make sense, family. Make it make sense right now.
I think it's highly unusual to the day that someone gets kidnapped, that several 7 hours, 8 hours before that they're searching the internet, Googling the movie Taken about an abduction. I find that very, very strange, yes.
So police have tried to interview Russell again, but so far her family says that she is not ready to talk. So a lot of unanswered questions here. It's a case that captured the nation's attention, so we're going to be waiting to see what investigators learn in their follow-up interview with Carlee. Russ and Christine?
All very strange at this point. Tom, thanks very much.
And you heard what they just said. They said very strange. Look at what they just said. Very, very strange. And it is strange because, and them white folks know that, them white folks know that she's lying. They know. They just don't want to say it. They just don't want to say it. You know what I mean? But they know she lying. And what they don't want to do, they don't want to say it because they don't want to face any type of backlash from saying it, right? So they're trying to be careful right now. What they're doing is they're being what's the word I'm looking for, Marcia? You know what I'm talking about. They're being diplomatic. That's what they're doing right now. They're being very diplomatic. They don't want to flat out just say she's lying. They don't want to say that. They just keep saying it's something suspicious. Something's not right. Black folks, we online like she's lying. That's what she's doing. And so her parents did speak out, family. Her parents did speak out. And so let's hear what the parents had to say. Let's hear what the parents had to say, family.
First laid eyes on her again. What was it like?
To me, I mean, just so much joy.
This morning, in an exclusive sit-down with NBC News, the parents of 25-year-old Carlee Russell are speaking out, describing the moment their daughter appeared on their doorstep after being missing for more than 48 hours. What did you do when you saw her?
We tried to hug her as best we could, but I had to stand back because she was not in a good state. So we had to stand back and let medical professionals work with her. But it's okay.
Last Thursday, police say Carlee called 911 to report a toddler walking alone on the interstate. She pulled over while on the phone with a family member who described hearing Carlee scream.
Her vehicle's unlocked, running, all her personal belongings except for her phone.
On the scene, police found no sign of Carlee or a child, and they say no children were reported as missing during that time period. The Russells waited in agony until Saturday night.
There were actually just so many calls and texts from people who maliciously lied to us. I just didn't know people could be so evil.
Authorities have not indicated where Carlee was during the 48 hours she was missing or what happened. Her parents declined to share what their daughter told them, citing the ongoing investigation.
And can you tell me what happened Saturday night? Did you just get a knock at the door?
Anything leading to the case itself, we can't discuss that.
But they say speculation about the circumstances surrounding Carlee's disappearance are only making things worse.
She's having to deal with the trauma of people just making completely false allegations about her.
Her family now urging the public to let the investigation play out, but mentioning an abductor. Her mother asking to read a brief message to the public.
Carlee has given detectives her statement so that they can continue to pursue her abductor.
Do you believe that there's an abductor still out there?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
NBC News has reached out to the Hoover Police Department to ask whether they're looking for an individual involved. Police have just said they're following up on all information provided by Carlee.
And when I talked to you all on Saturday, you also said your daughter is a fighter and she would find a way back to you.
I felt that in my heart.
Is that what happened?
She did. She found her way back to us. However, we can't discuss the details of that.
But they say one thing is clear.
Do you believe she was fighting for her life?
Oh, she definitely fought for her life. There were moments when she physically had to fight for her life, and there were moments when she had to mentally fight for her life.
But she made it back to you.
She made it back.
Yeah, she did make it back. All right, Priscilla, so investigators are obviously busy on this case. What are they looking into going forward?
Yeah, Hoda, right now they're analyzing that initial 911 call and also that traffic cam video showing that car driving on the interstate.
She's going to
very
jail
slowly with its flashers on, believed to be Carlee's car. And of course, they're looking at the evidence from the crime scene, including the car and her cell phone, which was found on the roadway nearby. Police say that they have been able to account for all of her steps leading up to her disappearance, but those 48 hours when she was gone still remain a mystery. Hoda?
Yeah, leaving behind her phone, her pocketbook, and all those things, a lot of things that investigators are looking into. Priscilla, thank you.
Hey, thanks for watching.
So family, this is what I'm going to say. You know, her story is that, and some more stuff has been coming out. They said that it was a man and a woman. This is what she claims. And I want to say she said it was a white man and white woman. I forgot the color, but she said it was a man and a woman. They abducted her. You know, the claim is that they made her strip naked. They took pictures of her. They gave her some crackers, and then they let her go. So that's the story, family. So I mean that, you know, that's what, you know, was coming out. So I know that's another clip, and they're saying that that's the story, that she's saying she was kidnapped by a guy and a girl. They took her to this house. They made her strip. They made her take her clothes off. They took pictures of her and fed her crackers and let her go. I know that we live in a weird world, but once somebody abducts you, I've never heard of somebody simply just letting you go. I've never heard of that. Can you all tell me in the chat? Tell me in the chat if you ever heard of somebody getting abducted. And I'm not saying that it doesn't happen, right? I'm not saying that there aren't anomalies, right? Or outliers, right? But what I am saying is it's not common for someone to abduct you and then simply let you go. I mean, I've never heard of that. You know what I mean? I've been around almost knocking on a half a century, right? And I've never heard of people abducting you and then just letting you go. So there's a lot of holes in her story. And if she did plan this out, she was very ignorant of technology, very ignorant of what we call a digital footprint, very ignorant of cell phones and how they operate, right? Like she was very, very ignorant. If she did plan this, right? She can't be anybody. She's not someone that's tech savvy or has a lot of knowledge about technology. Because if she would have, she wouldn't have been Googling, taking and Googling certain things, right? That law enforcement have discovered. All right. So I've never seen nothing like this. And I'm looking in the chat and I see Knowledge 360. He's like, never. You know what I mean? Like he's like, never. You know what I mean? So I haven't seen anything like this. But family, doesn't this put you in the mindset? As soon as I heard about this and just listening to her story, it took me back to Jessie Smollett all over again. It took me right back. I was like, golly, this is Jessie Smollett part 2. Because remember his hoax a few years back. And I don't even think he did jail time, or he may have went to jail for one day or something like that. And then they got him out of there real fast. But it's the Jessie Smollett all over again, right? Where someone is lying for clout. And by clout, family, I'm saying attention. just attention, to be famous. People do anything now to be famous. They fight, they steal, they kill, they act like buffoons on the internet. Anything to be famous, anything for people to comment or like or share. We live in a very, very sick society. So anyway, these are the brothers. I think these brothers are like from Africa. And so and I'm talking about continental Africans. And so these brothers, they were working for Jussie, and they're now speaking out about the whole thing. Of course, they're getting paid to tell the story, but they're now speaking about how everything was staged. But we knew everything was staged when Jussie told us. Just like when Carlee's story came out, people was like, I don't know, but we're going to ride for her. She's a Black woman. Let's ride for her. Let's pray for her. Daggone, the sister was doing the right thing. So we rode, only to find out that she lied. So anyway, let's listen to Jessie Smollett. Let's listen to the Jessie Smollett hoax. The brothers that were paid to attack the actor. Here we go.
Ones that did it. Yeah, it was us.
Extra with an exclusive first look at Jessie Smollett, Anatomy of a Hoax.
It was a crazy scene that Jussie put on. He even said,
I would not be my mother's son if I was capable of one drop of what I have been accused of.
I'm like, dang, you ain't your mother's son, buddy. Because this dude better get that birth certificate. Right.
And a new interview with Bola and Ola Osundaro's attorney, Gloria Rodriguez. Why did they agree to carry out this attack for Jussie in the first place?
Jussie was their friend, and they didn't want to betray their friend. And so at the end of the day, it was their trust that was taken advantage of.
I was down to do it because if we do this for him, he could probably help us out with our careers.
Jussie was someone who could really help their career. And beyond that, he was their friend. The documentary goes into great lengths about their feelings and how they felt when Jussie asked them to beat him up.
Hitting Fox Nation March 13th, the series goes into timeline detail about the attack and how Jussie choreographed the whole thing like a script that he was directing. And the brothers take us back to the scene.
This is where we waited for Jussie to come before we attacked him. After I threw him to the ground, I used my knuckle and gave him a noogie to give him a mark, to make it look real. That's where I came around with the bleach, the infamous bleach in the hot sauce bottle.
The original plan Jussie had was for one of the brothers to douse him with gasoline. And then I believe it was Ola who said, no, I'm not doing that. I'll do bleach instead. Why the stipulation? Why is one better than the other?
That's something that they also go into in the documentary, but their ultimate decision to participate in this is very contradictory to who they are as individuals. They would never, ever be involved in a hate crime like that.
What tips me off to the narcissism is when he's looking at Robin Robertson, he says,
And I want a little gay boy who might watch this to see that I fought back.
I mean, what delusions of grandeur, right? I mean, he is creating this entire fantasy where he is the hero in it.
The 5th episode of the documentary takes a deep dive into that very issue, Billy, and it's like cringeworthy.
When he first had told me about it, I was the only one in the car with him. I didn't know what to feel. I was flustered. I was like, wait, damn, is this doing the right thing if I agreed to it?
That's doing a friend a solid. It's unfortunate that they couldn't see far enough down the road that you're also throwing a nation into turmoil.
The layers of so many different issues, politics and social, race, all of this power dynamic just kind of blowing up in a time in America where we're already so divided and there are already so many issues.
I remember the detective that put that footage together. We all both thinking, that don't look like two white guys walking down the street.
We was in character the whole time.
So you think you guys are believable, white supremacists?
100%.
Do they feel a sense of remorse now? Did they then?
As soon as this had taken the circus status that it did, they immediately felt remorseful.
Jussie has always maintained his innocence.
I am not suicidal, and I am innocent.
And last week, his attorneys filed an appeal challenging the hate crime hoax conviction. Did Jussie reveal an intent to the brothers as to why he wanted to do this?
You know, that is the $1 million question.
Give me the $1 million answer, Gloria, because I've got to know. This thing has been troubling me for 2 years.
I know. And the $1 million answer will come from Ola and Bola Oshundario on the documentary.
Okay, so you're going to make us wait for that.
All right, family. So this is what took me back. Like literally, when I looked at this whole Carlee Russell thing, I said, "Oh my gosh, this is Jessie Smollett all over again." She's going to jail though because she doesn't have Jessie Smollett's money. See, he paid his way to get out of his situation. Her parents don't have money like that. And we already know how the judicial system is when it comes to regular folks, right? We regular folks. So we're going to jail, right? Rich folks are by themselves out of there. Like, do you all remember that white boy from Texas that killed 4 people? He was driving drunk. I think he was like 16 or 17. And he ended up killing 4 people. His parents were rich. What happened? His parents were rich. And they ended up getting him. I think he had a year. He had to do a year in a rehab, and they sent him to some sort of. It was like a resort looking type of rehab, right? You know, for a whole year, and that's what he did, and that was it. You know, they reduced it down from it was a manslaughter charge, and then next, you know, it was something else, and he did a year at a fancy resort, a rehab resort. And, you know, I'm talking about one of those wasn't a regular rehab that Uncle Pookie and Ray Ray and Shireen and them go to. It wasn't that type of rehab. You get what I'm saying? It wasn't like that. It was one of those rehabs at a resort that looked like a golf course, right? I'm talking about with golf courses and stuff. That's the type of stuff that it was, family. So we know that when it comes to the judicial system, if you don't have the coins, don't do the crime because you're going to jail. If you can't pay for a lawyer that costs a couple $100,000, you're going to jail. And an average black family, you and I know, don't have a couple extra thousand sitting around to pay a lawyer. She's going to jail. You want to know why? First of all, lying to police officers, giving false statements to police officers. And then she used law enforcement resources, right? For this whole kidnapping thing. And so law enforcement resources went into it, time, the lies. Carlee Russell is going to jail. I guarantee you she's going to do some jail time. I'm telling you, she's going to do some jail time. They're not going to just because they're going to make an example out of her because you can't keep pulling this type of stuff with law enforcement. And they're going to make an example out of her. And she's black. And what's going to happen? Mark my words. When something else happened with a sister that gains national attention, and prayerfully nothing does happen. But if and when it does, you know what people are going to say? You know what they're going to say, family? Oh, man, it didn't happen. Oh, nah, that she's another Carlee Russell. People won't believe the sisters after a while. They won't believe us. So that's why it's important, family, to just tell the goddamn truth. I'm going to drop the link in the chat. Yep, somebody, Kimmy said it's going to be a felony. Yep, she's going to get a felony. Yep, she said it right here. She said felony. Yeah, that girl's going to jail. She lying and utilizing law enforcement resources. They tracing steps. They got detectives. They using man hours. They're paying people for this. They weren't going out there for free looking for and doing all of this research. They're pulling footage. They're doing interviews. She's going to jail. She's going to jail. All right, family. I just dropped the link in the chat. I want to hear from you and why you're coming in, family. While you're coming in, I want you to check out this video really quickly while you're coming in. Here we go. Check out this video really quickly. It's like a commercial break, a 1-minute commercial break. I want you to check it out.
I say who we say Esopho, who we. Your role is to be coming up to testimony. You must be prepared. You're going to do some push-ups. You are going to do some push-ups this entire week. You're going to do some running this entire week. You're going to learn to have some fun. You're going to do some self-defense this entire week. You're going to learn some survival things this entire week.
And what I witnessed was men pouring into our future men because iron sharpens iron. Ashe?
It's going to be a packed week, 9 to 5.
Family. Family, make sure that you enroll your child in the Esopho training camp. The camp starts on July the 30th, so that's not this Sunday, but next Sunday. Make sure that you enroll your son, your grandson, your nephew, your cousin, your god brother, some children around your way. This is a free camp for boys between the ages of 12 to 14. This is a camp that focuses on manhood development. We focus on 4 core areas: character development, physical fitness, self-defense, and critical thinking. The Bibles also go through, conflict resolution with them. They talk about morals and values and all sorts of stuff. They talk about all sorts of things with our young boys, and they're with 3 Babas, 3 men the entire week. And at the end of the week, we have a good time, family. We have a graduation day where we come out and we celebrate our young men and we pour into them. So family, make sure that you head on over to esophocamp.com, esophocamp.com, family, and make sure that you click this button right here in the top right corner. Click registration. And when you click registration, it's going to bring you to a very simple form, right? It's very simple, right? Check some boxes, check some bubbles, type in your son's first and last name, your email address, and then bam, you're finished. So come on over here. Make sure that you register. We only have 3 slots, family. We only have 3 slots left. We're taking a maximum of 20 boys. Why just 20 boys? Well, first of all, that's what we have funding for. Secondly, we want to give our young boys an intimate, experience, right, with the Babas, with the fathers, with the men who are going to be out there, and so we want to give them an intimate experience. Okay, and so it's 3. Basically, the ratio is 20 to 3. The ratio is 20 to 3. All right. And so when we get more funding, then we could bring on more Babas. And then once we have more Babas, we can bring on more young boys. Ashe. So family, we only have 3 slots. So make sure you head on over to esophocamp.com, sign your child up, sign your son up, whether it's your son, your godson, your stepson, your male cousins, your little brother, your grandson. Okay. Anybody, get them in here, family. Okay. The camp is free. It starts on July the 30th. We're finalizing our count by Sunday. Matter of fact, by Sunday. So do this before Sunday, because on Sunday, we're sending out an email. Now, if you do live out of state, and there are some parents who do, you're more than welcome to come to Baltimore and post up. Okay. There's a shout out to Brother Sankofa. Brother Sankofa is bringing his son down. He's like, yeah, he asked me for the address to where the camp is going to be held. And he grabbed the spot. He's going to post up in Baltimore the entire week so that his son could have this experience. So shout out to those parents who are willing to travel to make sure that their children have these types of experiences. So yes, if a relative, who lives in the DMV area, come crash with your relative and get your son down here to the Esopho camp. Get him down here. I remember with my son, and I see Mr. Pirate Brain is in the building. I remember with my son, Jay, I had to drive 45 minutes to give him this, this experience. He was going through a NASA camp, and I used to go drive him across town 45 minutes. And the camp was from I think he had to be there from 8 to 12. And I would drop him off, and I just used to kill time in the area, right, until he got off. And then I would drive back across town. Sometimes as a parent, you got to make those type of sacrifices, right? Like you may have to drive. I got parents that fly. I had a couple, I'm thinking about a husband and wife team. Shout out to the Blackwells, Mr. and Mrs. Blackwell. Their son was in a STEM camp down in Atlanta. And they live in Baltimore. And they drove him down there, grabbed the Airbnb all week long for their child to have a STEM camp experience at a university. I think he was at Purdue or one of those. I know it was one of those, fancy universities, right? But he was there, and they made it happen as parents. Sometimes that's what we got to do. So anyway, family, make sure you visit esophocamp.com. It's on the screen. Make sure that you visit it. Also, family, thumb up the video while you're here. We got 88,000 people in the building. Family. So make sure that you thumb up the video right now, family. Share this video. You see the topic tonight. We're talking about Carlee Russell, kidnapping for clout. Is that what it was? Was she kidnapping? Did she stage a kidnapping for clout? I see who's that? Illmatic. That's a classic name, man. You can't be on here talking about your name, Illmatic. and you don't know nothing about Nas, brother. You can't say that, brother. So anyway, it's not a call-in number. It's I'm giving you the link. Hold on. I'm getting ready to drop the link in the chat. And I want to hear from you. We can go strong for another 20 or 30 minutes. All right. I want to hear from you. So click on the link and come on in. Tell me your thoughts. Mr. Power Brain, peace and love to you. How are you?
How you doing?
I'm doing fine. How about you, Warrior?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Good, good, good. So what are your thoughts about Carlee Russell? You know, do you believe her story, or do you think, do you believe, based on what the detectives are saying, is that she lied? So where are you at with it? How do you feel about it, brother?
Well, from day one, the only thing I could think of was she described the E-Trade baby when she was making the description of the baby on the side of the road.
Yes.
She was describing the E-Trade baby.
Talking about, I see somebody with what'd she say, a diaper?
A diaper, white shoes. I just imagine the baby dancing on the side of the road.
Hold on, let me Google it. Let me Google it. Oh, man. Let me Google it. You said, oh, here it is, the E-Trade baby.
Didn't she describe that?
She did describe it. Oh, my gosh. I had to Google it just now. She did describe the E-Trade baby. Oh my goodness. So when she said that, you was just like, it sounded funny. You just
right from jump, I knew something was wrong,
And so why? I'm sorry. I was going to ask you, why do you think she did it? Why do you think she did it? So you said something wasn't right. So why do you think that she did it?
I think she got into something. She did something she shouldn't have been doing, and she wanted to use that as an excuse to kind of get out of it. That's what I think happened. Maybe she was with a ex-boyfriend or somebody, and she didn't want to go back, and something foul. I mean, I'm just guessing. I don't know, but it just seems like she used that as a reason to get out of something.
So you think that so you don't think it was for clout and attention? You don't think that she thought this was going to go viral? You don't think it was any of that? You think she was into something?
That's what I think. And it kind of, I was thinking about, I don't know if you heard about the lady in Dubai.
Oh yeah, I talked about it. I just talked about it. Matter of fact, the last discussion. Yeah.
Yeah, her mother came, when her mother came on, she was saying, oh, the guy just got loud with her and was aggressive. Next thing you know, another video of her pops up on the internet of her throwing the soda on the guy, yelling and screaming, throwing things at him. Did you see that video?
No.
That's going around the internet now. She's a very violently aggressive woman. So when you see those videos, you know what she was over there doing in Dubai.
Come on. I agree with you. You know what she was doing.
Yes. See if you can look that up.
Yeah, I'm looking it up right now. I'm trying to look it up right now. But yeah. But no, continue. So
the sassy truck driver. That's going all over the place now. And you're not seeing those videos of her mother and that Muslim guy talking anymore.
Now that it's out, because what they tried to do was paint her to be, oh, she was just over there, enjoying herself in Dubai. She got into a car accident, and she was the passenger, and she went to go retrieve her things, and the guy just started yelling at her when she refused to pay, money to get her things back, and so she yelled back. So they're trying to paint her as, and then look, like you said, her name is Sassy Truck Driver, or Pretty Sassy something, and so she's not the victim that she claims to be. I think that she went in there and, like you said, got real belligerent with him. I don't think it was just her raising her voice. But see, the thing about it, the truth always comes out. My grandmother used to always say, what goes on in the wash comes out in the rinse. That's what she used to say, and it's always come out. So all sometimes we got to do is just sit back and wait. Videos start coming out. That's why I don't jump when something happened. I don't jump to people's defense. Oh, there's a black person. Oh, I don't do that anymore. I just sit back and I watch, because eventually more details start coming out. And then you say, oh, this is the full story. See, I used to jump 15 years ago. I used to jump. See your black face, something happened, I'm jumping. And I learned my lesson one too many times. I learned my lesson. So I agree with you. So you're saying she was you are of the opinion that she got into something and she wrote a check that her butt couldn't cash. She was trying to get out of it. And you're saying, and this happened.
Yeah, she had a habit of drinking too. So we don't even know if she wasn't drunk when she got in that car accident. Because it's mighty funny how she went to jail and there's no more talk of her friend that was with her, the one that was supposedly was in the accident.
Yep, we don't hear nothing. We don't hear a peep. Did the friend even speak out, or anybody from her family or the lawyer? Nothing.
Not that I know of.
Yeah, that story is shaky too. But you know my position on it. You know what? I'm not even going to tell you. I'm just going to drop my link, and brother, I want you to click on the link in the chat, and I want you to watch what I had to say about it. I brought on Brother Knowledge Born Allah. He came on, and we talked about the whole thing. We also talked about the Tulsa, Oklahoma case being dismissed. So we talked about that. Yeah, we talked about that, and then we also talked about the situation in Dubai. So I'm not even going to I'm not going to repeat what I said. Click on the link, brother, and I want you to check it out and then come back and holler at me, okay?
Okay. Thank you for having me on. Hey, I appreciate it.
Hey, no problem, brother. Thank you so much for sliding through.
All right, peace.
Peace and love to you. Sister Marcia, peace and love to you, Queen. How are you?
I'm doing well on this hot afternoon.
Oh, it's afternoon over there. Where are you? Because it's 8 o'clock where I am.
Well, yeah, it's 8 o'clock. It's still light outside, so until it gets dark, it ain't nighttime to me. So.
Okay, I got you. So you go. So you on the East Coast?
Yeah, I'm in North Carolina.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you in North Kakalaki. That's where a lot of my folks are down there in Durham and Whiteville, North Carolina, Fayetteville, North Carolina, all up in that area. So yeah. Shout out to the North Kakalaki. But Queen, what were your thoughts? What were your thoughts about the Carlee Russell situation? Because I did see your comment. You said when you first heard that she was missing, you said that you prayed for her. That was your first thing. And I said, wow. You were like, yeah. You was like, I prayed for her, like as soon as I heard about it. So walk me through that. Walk me through your thoughts when you first heard about it. And then tell me what your thoughts are or were after you heard about all the evidence that came out.
I mean, well, I first heard about it like before going to bed. So my thought process is like shutting myself down for meditation, burning my sage, like getting ready to speak to whatever ancestors I need to come through for me tomorrow because my day was whatever it was. And so I heard the story and I was like, dang, like first I'm a mom. Like I'm a mom. I've got an adult child that's, driving, and I'm just going there first, like, oh my gosh, somebody's baby done got snatched up on the side of the road trying to help somebody else's baby that was loose on the side of the highway. And I'm thinking it's some kind of sex trafficking type of ploy to use a baby to like get, somebody to react. We hear these stories of sex trafficking, and how people are lured into it. So I'm thinking that first without thinking, like I'm just going to go with this story for right now. I'm just going to pray. I'm just going to hope that she's found. And then as I was praying, I kind of got this thing of, you haven't heard the story. You don't know what's going on. But I'm very intuitional. And my intuition automatically flipped from saying, oh, she's kidnapped. Let's make sure she's returned back safely, into just no matter what the situation is, whether she's telling the truth or not, I hope she comes back home alive, like just period. Right. Because I don't want the sister to be dead, like regardless.
Right. Yeah. Right.
That's not my intention.
Right.
But I tried to follow the story the next day. And then the white baby thing came out because I thought the baby was black because had nobody stopped. So it's like, it could have been her white baby because it's on a highway. Somebody would have said something. So it had to be a black baby because one, nobody would have seen it because it's a darker baby. So maybe nobody saw the baby. And then if they did see a black baby, I mean, it's in Alabama. Is anybody really going to stop? So like, I thought, well, maybe there's something to that. But then when it was a white baby, I really started getting a little concerned about the story. I was like, ain't no white baby on no side of the road and no pampering, ain't nobody at least called. And so 48 hours later, she's returned home. She walks home. That was concerning to me. The lack of the parents have implored everybody to pray, but then they want privacy when she's returned. That bothered me because I'm like, no, man, we all family now. You done had me praying. So I'm gonna need a statement. Okay?
Right. Something. Right.
Something.
Something. Yeah.
And then I started telling my husband, I said, I'm getting that feeling like I got with Jessie. I don't know if this story gonna be on the up and up or not, because that bothered me when they didn't want to give a statement. And the fact that she walked all the way home and who walks all the way home when you just broke out of being kidnapped? You would go to the nearest place you can to like get help, a grocery store, a business, a gas station, a stranger. Why did she pass by all these safe havens to go home? That didn't make sense to me either. So nonetheless, all that to say, I'm extremely disappointed, even though I figured this probably wasn't going to be an on the up story, because I know the statistics because I have Black children. I'm constantly telling my Black children that Black children go missing all the time with no type of justice. So you got to be aware of your surroundings. I know specifically Black women, about 100,000 of us go missing a year. And if we break that down just mathematically, that might be roughly 270, 275 a day, right? And out of the 270 women a day, we had to get the one that won't telling the truth.
Come on.
What are the odds?
Come on.
270 other women are out there fighting for their lives, and we had to get the one that's telling the lie. Now, my personal opinion about why she did it is not deep. I'm a Black woman. I'm a Black woman of some privilege. Grew up in a 2-parent home, very upper middle class. I don't have no siblings. I think she does, but maybe not. She's got a fabulous boyfriend that was out here like fighting for her and trying to get, all the attention on her. She's a nurse. She's been to college. This story was made up because she's bored. When your life is almost so perfect that ain't nothing really going on with it, you manufacture stuff to make it exciting. And I'm like, I've been there. I've been unfulfilled in my life. Now, I didn't go this far with telling lies, but sometimes I have been a little bored with my life, where I have completely started fights with my husband just for some excitement. It's just the truth. And I've had to have a discussion with him. It's like, I have to apologize because I have such a privileged life of I didn't grow up in no poverty, never worried about where I was going to eat or where I was going to stay. Both my parents loved me, very minimal issues. And you get bored. Like there's nothing going on with your life. You feel like your life is a little mundane. So you manufacture a little chaos for something. Now, I don't think she thought that it would get this big because, we are Black women. Maybe she didn't think the story would really get picked up and that it would get this serious. But unfortunately, she bet wrong and it blew up. And now the light is on her and she got some explaining to do. And I don't think she's going to be able to explain it.
So your position is that she was bored.
It's the social media life. Like you look at her social media. She was out there like she's a beautiful Black woman.
Yeah.
She's traveling. She's got nice clothes. She's got her hair done. Her family's home is beautiful. She's got a boyfriend that's out there fighting for her. She's a nurse. She had a career. She's got a career. She was even stealing from the job. Why do anyone, when you come from privilege?
I did hear.
Remember that?
Stealing from the job. Yeah.
People who come from something that steal, it resonates with being bored. You're manufacturing a little bit of chaos in your life to live on the edge. Like you want to, it's that adrenaline in the possibility of getting caught or the possibility of the argument. Like you're trying to find something in your life that sparks some type of something in you because you're dead on the inside. You're bored. And it's not a mental health issue. We can't blame everything on mental health, nor do I think it is mental illness. She is problematic with the fact that she's probably bored with her life and that she feels like there isn't this chaos going on that maybe she needs to feed off of, and social media isn't doing it for her. She's got to manufacture something else. And I don't, she's about to get into some real serious trouble for this need of wanting to have the internet search for her, have her folks out here. And I don't blame her folks. I don't think her folks were in on it.
I don't either.
Up until now.
You think now
I think now they are perpetuating the story to try to save her.
To
I
save
think.
her. Yeah. I
Yes.
can see that. I can see that now.
Yes.
So initially, you're saying
Yeah.
they weren't involved. They didn't know, but they want to save face for their
Right.
daughter.
Yeah.
So
I don't think they want their daughter to be outed. I think they're trying to protect her, and they're running with the story. Now, one thing I did take in college as a criminal justice major, wanting to go into the FBI, is a body language class. And her mama and her dad's lack of saying anything when he is the protector, right? There ain't no way a daddy's little girl done got abducted and he ain't had nothing to say. That told me all I needed to hear. And the mother did way too much talking. She's supposed to be emotional. She's supposed to be tore down so much so that the dad has to speak for her because she just emotionally distraught. Her child been taken. But she's too well kept together. And every time, like a dead tail, is your body will not lie. When you're telling a lie, your face says it all. If I say, no, I did not do that, but your head is nodding, yes, you did do that.
True.
Okay. Every time she was saying yes to something, her head was doing this. Like, no.
Oh, let me bring it back up.
Like, no.
Let me bring that back up.
And so that's problematic to me.
Let me see. I gotta bring that up. Parents. Oh, you are so right. Oh my goodness. Oh, you good. Like you said, that body language doesn't
The body language,
lie.
yeah, you can't control it too much. Like, unless you've been really, really trained, which most people are not, your body is your dead giveaway. That's how I know when folks be lying to me. And
Yeah, I'm not gonna play the whole. You said it. You hold on. Here we go. I just wanna pay attention because I was listening to the words. I didn't pay attention to the body language, and you said, "Well, wait a minute. Watch the body language. Let's watch it together." Here we go. I'm gonna move it back.
That moment you all first laid eyes on her again, what was it like?
To me, I mean, just so much joy.
This morning, in an exclusive sit-down with NBC News, the parents of 25-year-old
Ooh,
Carlee
you're
Russell
right. I
are
see the body
speaking out,
language. Ooh.
describing the moment their daughter appeared on their doorstep after being missing for more than 48 hours.
What did you do when you saw her?
We tried to hug her as best we could, but I had to stand back because she was not in a good state. So we had to stand back and let medical professionals work with her. But it's
Last Thursday, police say Carlee called 911 to report a toddler walking alone on the interstate. She pulled over while on the phone with a family member who described hearing Carlee scream.
Her vehicle's unlocked, running, all her personal belongings except for her phone.
On the scene, police found no sign of Carlee or a child, and they say no children were reported as missing during that time period. The Russells waited in agony until Saturday night.
there were actually just so many calls and texts from people who maliciously lied to us. I just didn't know people could be so evil.
Authorities have not indicated where Carlee was during the 48 hours she was missing or what happened. Her parents declined to share what their daughter told them, citing the ongoing investigation.
And can you tell me what happened Saturday night? Did you just get a knock at the door?
Anything leading to the case itself, we can't discuss that.
But they say speculation about the circumstances surrounding Carlee's disappearance are only making things worse.
She's having to deal with the trauma of people just making completely false allegations about her.
Her family now urging the public to let the investigation play out, but mentioning an abductor. Her mother asking to read a brief message to the public.
Carlee has given detectives her statement so that they can continue to pursue her abductor.
Do you believe that there's an abductor still out there?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
NBC News has
reached. I saw it. That's what I saw. Absolutely. And she went like this. She was like, absolutely. But her brain, her mind,
abductor.
Here it is.
Do you believe that there's an abductor still out there?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
NBC News has reached out to the Hoover Police Department.
That was a dagger right there, Sister Marcia. I gotta drop a daggone bomb for you. What you just because I didn't catch that. I did not catch that when I first looked at it. So hold on, where's my? I got. Oh my gosh. She said, she asked her straight up, do you think it's still an abductor out there? And she said, absolutely.
Her body rejecting, your body will reject a lie. Okay. When you're not properly trained. Okay. That is just what it is. And that was for me. I watched that interview and I told my husband in that moment, I said, she lied. She's lying. I said, this is not going to go the way we think it is. And I'm really disappointed. I said, as a mom who's got an adult child out here who this could happen to anybody we know. You know what I mean? And the fact that if something like this happened to my child and she not be taken seriously, or I'm not taken seriously to find my child because she out here wanting to fabricate lies because she's bored, is problematic for me. And that dad has a responsibility to tell the truth. He is the patriarch of his family. He needs to have they would have just been better to not make a statement. Period. Don't go on. You looking crazy. You're out here probably about to become an accessory and potentially going to have to go to jail too yourself if you don't out your own child, which it would have just been better to lawyer up, not say anything, and keep your mouth closed. It's just what it is. Because technically, and this is just my lawyer hat, technically, she didn't come out and say she was abducted. Okay. She just went missing. Right. So if they just play I just didn't know. I wasn't in communication with my family. I'm so sorry that they thought I was abducted and all this other thing. She could have played this off. It would have still looked very suspect, but there is no legality she's broken on her end. And parents can absolutely feel worried and call the police. But once you start playing the game and you start giving statements that there was an abductor and they gave you, essentially they were playing with your hair and they gave you a photo shoot in a cheese charcuterie board. At this point now, it's a whole story. And that's another reason why I don't buy the mental illness issue, is because it's well planned. She has been planning this for weeks. She has internet searched. She has watched movies. She had went to the store and bought Cheez-Its herself. And another sign was, where did the snacks go? She went to the store, bought snacks. Your wig is on the ground. Your phone is on the ground. Your door is open. Everything's gone, but everything is there, but the snacks. Ain't got time for it. Ain't got time. Play with somebody else's time, Dr. Maat. Play with somebody else's time.
I'm over here cracking up. I had to mute myself. He was like, I ain't got time. I ain't got time.
I got time. Just took time. I'm in the midst of planning my school year for my children, okay? And the 2 kids that I homeschool. And I took time out of my schedule to take some of my meditation to hope this sister make it back. And she out here getting makeovers and eating charcuterie with her made-up Prince Harry and all these other people who's supposed to have abducted her, the orange-haired, balding man. Girl, bye. No, ma'am.
I don't have time for this. I don't have time
no,
for this.
ma'am.
Marcy,
I'm
glad that you mentioned your homeschooling. Can you talk about your Facebook group and where people can access you? Because you actually have a group where you teach people how to homeschool. So not only do you homeschool your children, you also homeschool other people's children. And then you started a group on Facebook where you're teaching people how to homeschool their children. Could you talk briefly about that and let folks know where to find you? Because they're loving you. They're in the chat this sister's on point. I agree with you, sis. And so how can people connect with you? Where can they find your group on Facebook? Tell us about what you have going on with your homeschool.
Well, I have high schoolers now. Been blessed to homeschool all my kids through their early elementary is when I pulled my oldest out, 2nd grade or so. And then I've homeschooled the rest of my kids. I have 3 children. And my oldest is in college now. So you can absolutely homeschool and your kids can go to some of the top colleges in the country. My daughter even got into Howard's, you would consider that the mecca almost of HBCUs, right? With no problem. There was no problem. My oldest now, my middle daughter now I just got accepted to her first film school. So, she's getting ready to try to do that as well. And then I have a son. So you absolutely can homeschool. I've been schooling Afrocentrically, unapologetically for the last 13, 14 years. and just trying to form my kids or help them formulate their own Blackness before they get out into the world and society wants to tell them what it is, right? So the best way to find me is to inbox me, because I will tell you I'm very tribal when it comes to my kids and what I share about them, and also like to just kind of weed out people who just want to kind of view. I'm very protective of the group. So you have to contact me first, and I have to vet you before I like give you access to my page, but you can always have access to me, but not necessarily my page where the children are at, where they're doing their things, where they get to share some of like their projects and the things like that. I have to create and curate a safe environment. I don't feel like everybody should have access to the kids, but if you reach out to me, Marcia Pender, MarciaPinder, inbox me. You can follow me. You can reach out to me and we can have some discussions. I do homeschool counseling for free. I just feel like that's just one of them things that is a necessity in our community, and not everybody has the resources to necessarily be paying for counseling sessions per se, because I want you to homeschool in whatever fashion works for your family. It's better off that you're doing it. It's better off for me that you're doing it. So I do it for free because it's just counseling, and I will help you walk through the steps of what homeschooling would look like in your state, because they all have different laws. So, and making sure that you're doing it legally, so that way you don't get, hemmed up with truancy. And then just empowering you around your lifestyle, how homeschooling can work for you, whether you full-time work, part-time work, or you're stay at home. Everybody in whatever facet of life you're in can homeschool in some fashion. I am assisting 2 other families with homeschooling their children. I part-time homeschool their kids, and I make them part-time homeschool their children, so that they just have a vested interest in what's going on. Now part-time, hey, no dogs. Part-time means that all the things of character I make their parents do, because you need to be formulating your children's character. Not me. I do their math, and I will teach them their history and stuff. But as far as like your own religious perspectives, how conversations about what you feel like your children morally should be doing, those things I leave to parents. I don't do that part. But nonetheless, you can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Facebook at the name that I said. Oh gosh, stop it.
Look, let me mute you out. look quick. Queen, somebody's asking for you in a chat. Sister Donette Mitchell, she's asking you for the chat. So once you get the dogs and everything together, just come back to the chat, Sister Marcia Pender, and put your information in the chat so that people can reach you. Just go ahead and type it in for me, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and let the next person in. I'm gonna let you handle that, Queen. I'm gonna let you handle that. Peace and love to you, Sister Marcia. All right, Illmatic, Warrior.
Hey, what's going on? Are you able to hear me? Can you hear me?
I hear you loud and clear, Warrior. I hear you loud and clear. Your audio is
Great.
good, and I saw you kind of cut your camera on and you cut it off, and it seemed like you got situated. But what are your thoughts about Carlee Russell? Do you believe that she was abducted? Do you think that something really happened? Do you think she's telling the truth? Do you think with the detectives drop more information? Do you think she's lying? Do you think the parents are covering up? What are your thoughts?
Man, I think the most sensible thing, right? I think that anytime something like this happens, it's extremely important to apply logic. One of the things for me, well, first of all, I just want to say this, the outpouring of love and support that we saw for her, it was amazing to see the community wrap around, right? That's exactly what we asked for. And it is heartbreaking that it turned out to be, this situation turned into what it has turned into. Exactly. And I think that a lot of the anger and the pain that you hear in coming from people on social media, it's coming from the fact that people are angry and upset and they're heartbroken, but they don't know how to communicate it in that fashion. They don't know how to just say, you really disappointed all of us, a lot of us, you really let us down. A lot of people just don't know the passionate way to say that. But I think also, just to speak to her personality, she disappointed all of those people who supported her. And she's not even responsible enough or mature enough to speak up. I've seen people on social media say she doesn't owe an explanation to anybody. And if that's how you feel, then that's fine. I am of the thought that you do need to explain to the people who came out and supported you, right?
Yeah, people went out looking for, and yeah.
And
People,
it gets even deeper than that. Anaya Blanchard was a 19-year-old girl from that area who was kidnapped, and unfortunately, she was found murdered. Her mother was one of the first people to come to the aid and support and bring attention to Carlee Russell being missing. Imagine how she feels. You made a joke out of somebody's real, actual pain. And that's terrible.
It is terrible.
The other thing, because, and one of the reasons why I love your show is that when we have these types of discussions, you are always rooted in solution, right? Solution-based discussions. And I love that. I love that, right?
I appreciate your words, brother.
Moving forward as a community, here's what we need to do. We have to break this cycle that exists amongst us, right? Where we attack each other for questioning, for critical thinking, critical thinking. Because I was one of the people, when the story first broke, I was one of the people who, oh my God, I hope they find her. I hope she's okay. I hope that the police department really actually does something. Well, those were my first thoughts, right? And the more details that I heard about it, the less sense that it made. I just said, we apply logic. The more I applied logic, the less sense that it made. And those red flags started going off, right? I try not to spend too much time on social media because I see how toxic it is. What I noticed on there was, specifically on Black Twitter, there was this huge pocket of people who immediately, if you didn't believe her story, if you had questions, you must be a misogynist that does not support Black women.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, and we gotta stop that. We gotta cut that out, right? Because now look, the people who supported her, you can't find them nowhere. They deleting tweets. You know what I mean? We have to stop we have to stop allowing these types of things to create real division amongst us in our community, et cetera, et cetera. And I don't want to go off on a tangent, but I saw your episode about Keke Palmer, right? I was talking to a great friend of mine and I told her, what if this is a publicity stunt? What if that whole thing was actually a publicity stunt for her to sell merchandise? Because her first response was she made a video singing to her son and she had a new t-shirt you could buy for $30.
Yep.
That was how Keke responded to it.
Yep.
And I brought that up because when the Keke Palmer situation happened, real people, we're projecting negativity amongst each other in our community off of an event that could be totally fake, totally planned. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
We have to stop doing that. And before I go, I just want to say that like these types of spaces are really important because here we are allowed to exercise free thought, to explore things, right? And that's extremely critical. Analysis should be applied to everything. Don't just get up and do something. Don't just get up and react to something. Apply critical thought to it first. Analyze the situation before you react.
Come on.
Before you react.
Come on.
Now I'm mad. I can't find my money. Where's my money? I pull out my gun and shoot somebody because I couldn't find my money. It fell out my pocket.
Come on.
Now look at this situation I just created for myself. Because I didn't want to think critically. I didn't want to, you see, we have to, so, but back to Carlee, I'm not sure where this is going to go. Her going to jail, her going to prison, that's not going to fix anything that we got to deal with in our community. Right? Right? The police are at her neck because she embarrassed them. How much of this is, and we have to remember that. Like I hear people saying and celebrating the fact that she's going to go to jail. Like, no, she's not going to jail because she caused harm to a community. That's not why.
That's
she's
not why.
going to jail for embarrassing the police. That's
Yeah,
essentially.
and utilizing utilizing, man hours. Like people
Hmm.
got paid. You see what I'm saying? They could have put
Yeah.
those detectives on other cases. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they utilize manpower, man hours. Um, 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 like you said, they embarrassed them. She embarrassed them. She lied to them. That's why they're going. That's why she's going to jail. They don't care about the public. They don't care about how it impacted us. They care about how it impacted them. Absolutely, brother.
Right.
Absolutely.
And for us now, the next focus, right? The next part of this, the next move is, what are we going to do? How are we going to handle these situations moving forward, right? When you hear
Absolutely.
somebody's missing, and honestly, before I go, the last thing I want to say is this: I feel like the blowback, the reaction that our community is going to have is moving forward. There's going to be more online sleuths looking for these missing people, right? Because you see how many people she embarrassed. After that embarrassment fades away, they're going to go right back to that same type of behavior.
Absolutely.
They're going to go right back to this reactionary behavior. Hopefully, the difference will be now they're going to cross all their T's and dot all their I's before they jump to, oh yeah, definitely. She embarrassed her whole family. She embarrassed us as a community. And I mean, I try not to speak on issues with sisters when sisters are going at each other, but the community of Black women have no tolerance for that shit.
Yeah, come on. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Sisters, embarrassment, sisters don't do that. Sisters don't do that.
Absolutely
Sisters
not.
don't. A sister will get on you for that. Get
Yeah.
on you for that.
You
She
saw
brought
sister.
embarrassment.
Yeah, you saw Sister Marcia. She came up here. She gave it to her. Sister
Yeah.
Marcia, and she broke down the whole thing. She gave it to
Yeah.
her. No, Black women ain't standing for that. Like, Black
Yeah,
women
and
ain't
I see the
condoning
next
that.
caller is coming in. Before I go, I would just want to close with this, right? I do believe that there is a mental issue that may be there, but we can't conflate bad behavior with these mental issues. For me, the fact that her Instagram is still open, it's still there, she's still getting comments, she's still active on it. That tells me that she's getting some type of thrill from,
Absolutely.
because I say that simply because of this. If I embarrass the hell out of people and they roasting and clowning me, I'm trying to find the biggest rock I can get under.
Yep.
Let me get one of them trips out to space with Elon Musk. Just send me over there while they roasting me on Twitter. I'm not gonna feed into it. She watching it, and I mean, I hope the best for her. But as a community, though, we're going to be all right. We're going to overcome this. So we're going to look back, and just like Jessie Smollett, she's just going to be a milestone. She's made a mockery of herself that she has to live with forever. That's punishment. That's enough punishment for me. All right. Peace, family. Y'all have a great night.
No, I appreciate, brother. You just went, when I say you went all the way in just now, you went all the way in. So thank you so much for coming in and sharing your thoughts. The chat, they're loving you. They're like, yeah, this brother got a point. I'm with this brother. You're right. Everything you said was right and exact. And so I'm loving the name Illmatic. It took me back. When you said Illmatic, it took me back to Nas' first album. But shout out to Illmatic, brother. You got to come through. You got to come through some more. You got to come through some more, brother.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Everything
No
he
problem.
said was fantastic and on point.
Yeah, he was on point. Definitely on point. Appreciate you, brother. You take care.
All right.
Peace and love.
Yeah.
Sister BJ. How you doing, Queen?
I'm doing well.
Good.
But it's scary what our people are going through, and both of your callers, they were absolutely on point. I love how our community rallied together, because it's so important for us to do that.
Absolutely.
It's so important for us to do it in so many instances where trafficking is on the rise.
Yeah.
Our children and our women and our men are being abducted, and this person who is, it is mental. It's the illusion of fame that people will do anything for the gram, for the likes, for the hits. They don't care who they hurt or what they do, because it's all about can I be seen? Can I be seen? I have people, because you're going to have some who love you for it and some who are hate hate you for it, so I'm gonna feed on the people who are loving me for this.
Yep.
Not seeing the destructive behavior that is impacting others because of it.
Absolutely.
You're giving someone a reason not to look for you. At the same time, so many of us are being brutalized, trafficked, being exploited. You know, you look around on these street corners and you're seeing people begging for money. Just happened to me. And the question in my mind is, are they really begging for money? Or are they on the street because they have to beg for money? Or are they on the street begging for money because they're being exploited and being forced to beg for money?
Right.
So
Right.
now you can't even look at anything as being black and white because there's so many fingers on everything. And this person just does not understand. What she did had federal, state, mothers, fathers crying because there's so many people seeing their own people lost on the streets. And you're sitting up thinking, oh, well, you know, it was just, I got caught. Okay. But I'm still being, like, I'm okay. No, you're not okay, because why aren't you now saying, I'm sorry, and I'm gonna be the second person on standing beside this person who fought for me to make sure nobody else winds up missing. No, you're not gonna take any responsibility for what you're doing.
That's right.
Because as long as I'm good, it's all okay. And that's where we need to get out of the psychosis.
That's right.
I'm
listening.
Because our babies are hurting and there's no one protecting them. We are in this manosphere versus the womansphere, and everybody fighting each other. And it's like we should be coming together and protecting each other, because that's what our communities in the past did, and that's how we were able to survive and thrive.
That's right.
Any little thing nowadays that's going to fracture us, it has a heavy cost.
Yep.
Because I want to be on TV. I want to hit the news. For what? 10 minutes of fame? 6 months from now, you're going to be lost and forgotten. So what is the point of all this?
Exactly.
So they should make her, not only, if she's going to jail, make her go in and start working on and being an advocate for these traffickers. Let her see what the real cost of what her actions are, because I don't think she understands.
So you're saying instead of locking her up, that's too easy, right? Give her 3 hots in the cot. So instead of giving her that, you saying put her butt out here and let her work with some of these, do some activism work so she can really see what's going on. Yeah.
Because that's gonna go into you. You can't forget these children whose bodies are found. Because like the father just adopted their daughter in Michigan. No, not their daughter, but their girlfriend's daughter. Because I don't want nothing happen to my son. Drove them from Lansing to Detroit and found the baby's body, strangled in an abandoned home, in an abandoned neighborhood. So what she's doing is not for play. There are people losing their lives. There are people forever being abused. There are people walking up and down the street because that's all they've been trained since they were a child to do, is walking up and down the street. They don't know no other way.
Right.
While you're playing with, somebody took me on the side of the road when I was trying to help a child. Do you know what that does to people when you're talking about an innocent child being abused, abandoned, and need help? And so I'm gonna play the hero, and then have everybody across this country worried about you, and they're like, oh, coming home with some crackers and cheese in your mouth. Oh, it was just a joke. What these children, what these women, what these men are going through in this country and around this world is not a joke.
And look, Kimmy said, I'm sorry. Kimmy said, I disagree. She said she wanted to go to jail. She said, Kimmy said she could do that at the jail. Kimmy said, I had to laugh. As soon as I read Kimmy's statement, I started laughing. Kimmy said, I disagree. She can do that at the jail. Send her to jail.
Well, no,
And
they
for her,
can send her to jail, and that could be a part of her.
She said her community service, a part of her parole and probation. She got to do that. But Kimmy said, send her butt to. Oh, and Jamila said the same thing. She said, that's what I said too, Kimmy. So the sisters, and that's what the brother was just talking about. He was like, black women ain't playing that.
No.
Sisters ain't playing that. You know what I mean? So the sisters,
but she needs to learn a lesson on both ends. Because to me, too many times people go to jail and they don't even get.
Come on, they don't get the lesson. That's
the lesson of what they've done.
That's true.
You know, I'm tough. I'm bad. I did my time. I got my stripes. I'm out here doing the same knuckleheaded stupidness all over again.
Yeah.
Or then she'll use the excuse, well, because of what happened, I had to go to jail, and now my life is, I have to do these things now because, my life with the felony record, and I can't, take care of myself anymore. So now, now I'm looking for somebody to take care of me?
But Sister BJ, I was thinking it when Sister Marcia said, she was like, yeah, she gonna end up going. She said, I'm putting on my lawyer hat. She probably, gonna go to jail. It's a felony, da da da. I was thinking the same thing. I said, dag, she get that, she done. Because they used it, they weaponize. See, felonies hurt white folk. I mean, hurt black folks. They don't hurt white folks. White folks got felonies. They go work. Their parents got companies. They go work there and all of that. But when it's us, and I'm thinking about right now, the new Jim Crow by Dr. Michelle Alexander. She talked about how they use the criminal system. They use felonies as a means to disenfranchise people. So it's no longer we're going to do it because you're black, right? You can't work here not because you're black, but now it's because you are a felon, right?
Absolutely.
So it's the new Jim Crow. And so she's going to have, Sister Marcia said that, she probably did it for kicks or thrills because she was bored. She had like the perfect life. She wanted some excitement. She's getting ready to pay for that.
Yeah.
She wants some excitement and edge. Well, here it comes. Because in some areas you can't even buy houses. You can't even rent apartments in some areas.
No student loans.
No student loans if you are a convicted felon. So she wanted excitement. Here she got it.
She got it. And the thing about that, now you're in the system. Now what you going to do with the rest of your life?
Come on.
Now you're in the system. Now you may be now first in line to be exploited because now you're in the system and all those opportunities are gone. Because you want a little fame. You going to jail, and that's the thing. They try to make jail look like, oh, for us, it's like being at the country club. It's you are. The history of our existence in this country has been slavery. You go in the prison system, it's legal to be a slave. You are now the property of whatever state you are in. And if they want to take your kidney, if they want to take whatever, you are their property. We need to test you on some of these drugs. Oh, let's give you some of that mystery Bill Gates meat and see how your body reacts for the next 10 years on this. Oh, and let you have a couple of kids and let's see how those kids will respond to this stuff. They don't. She does not know what she has done.
Not at all. Not at all.
Joke. Some people have to do this because they have no options or they've been forced to because the school to prison pipeline. But you're doing this as let me see what I can get on the tube.
Look, and I'm with Queen Amina. She said not smart. I laughed at her comment too. She said not smart. She said for this young woman to be a college graduate and the likes, she said she's not very bright. And she wasn't. She didn't think that one through. And that's why I wear this shirt. I love this shirt. It's one of my favorite shirts. Demand evidence and think critically. Demand evidence and think critically. I got another shirt over there that talks about thinking critically. I talk about thinking critically all the time. A beginner's guide to critical thinking, better decision making, and problem solving. always have conversations about mindfulness, right? Like I mean, sister, I could go on and on. Sister BJ, but do you have any closing words for the listening audience?
Oh, my closing words is that they said she came from a very well upbringing and had resources. And the thing is that I grew up just the opposite.
Mhm.
People who come from more, why are you trying to live a life that you are not capable of living?
Mm.
You cannot handle it in these mean streets. Not too many of us make it out of these mean streets. The stress and struggle to try to just accomplish something is a battle within itself, and you are given the upper hand to move forward and further, and you're looking at that. No, I don't want that. I want to live in the hood, in the ghetto, and in the gutter like the rest of the folks that you think you can handle, and you really can't. For thrills, look, if she needed a thrill seeking, go live a month in a homeless shelter and let that be your thrill. And see how far you can get. I'm pretty sure you won't be coming out of there with some cheese and crackers in your mouth.
Not at all. Not at all. Not at all.
But better yet, go live under the viaducts. And now so many are fighting to get on the viaducts because they won't even let them get under there.
Not at all.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate all that you do, Dr. Mayat, trying to educate and inform us. We need this. We need to, I would say, wake up. We need to start acting.
Come on.
We have to act.
Come on. I agree 1,000% with you. We always say, wake up, but you talking about wake up and start reacting. Wake up and do, right? Wake up and exercise agency. That's what you're saying.
Yes.
So I agree 1,000% with you. And Sister BJ, as always, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your thoughts. I can always count on you when I open up those lines. I said, Sister BJ, and slide through.
I just try to put my little 2 cents or my little,
You do. You slide on through, and I appreciate you, beloved. You take care.
Okay, you too. Take care. Bye.
Love. Peace and love. The Queen Mothers came through. Sister Marcia, Sister BJ, the Queen Mothers came through. Mr. Pirate Brains, the brothers came through. Illmatic came through. And I appreciate everybody who came through tonight. And I do see that someone asked me the name of this particular book. Who was this? Jamila. Is it Jamila? Yeah. You asked who this book is. This book is Jennifer Wilson. And one of my favorite sections is on page 71 when she offers key strategies to make you a critical thinker. She says, to one, she said, keep your focus on the challenge, right? She said, 2, practice asking critical questions. 3, get verifiable evidence. 4, do proper analysis. 5, do reasonable interpretation. 6, synthesize ideas. 7, break down complex questions. 8, learn to make decisions. 9, learn to generate and evaluate options. Then she said, be detail oriented, think high level, get used to day-to-day critical thinking, categorize your ideas always, reflect, focus on problem solving, make an effort of learning, find more suitable solutions, embrace alternatives, embrace fresh techniques, solutions, as well as ideas, confirm information veracity, meaning truthfulness or accuracy. She said, assess repercussions, be prepared for collaboration, and keep to basic intellectual standards. Woo! Family. That's the level. That's the level. That's where we should be. And can you imagine if everyone or enough of us applied these key strategies for critical thinking, how the world would be, how our interactions would be, how our communities, our families would be, if only we would critically think. And so Carlee Russell, she didn't think this one through, family. She didn't think this one through. And so I'm going to show you this really quickly before I let you go, family. Gotta play this. Hopefully you all can hear it. I'm getting ready to.
I say who we say Esopho, who we? Who we? Your role is to become that successful one day. You're gonna be prepared. You're gonna do some push-ups. You are gonna do some push-ups this entire week. You're gonna do some money this entire week. You're gonna learn to have some fun. You're gonna do some self-defense this entire week. You're gonna learn some survival things this entire week.
And what I witnessed was men pouring into our future men, because iron sharpens iron. Ashe?
It's gonna be a packed week, 9 to 5.
Family, get your babies in this. Get your babies. Get your babies. Get your son. I don't want to keep saying babies, right? Your young men in training. Get your sons in this Esopho training camp. All right. It's a free camp for young boys between the ages of 12 to 14. It focuses on manhood development. The Bibles focus on 4 core areas: character development, physical fitness, self-defense, and critical thinking. Isn't that what we've been talking about a lot tonight? Critical thinking. I said she didn't think it through. The brother came on. He said, yeah, she didn't apply critical thinking. Everybody said it, right? So we don't want our young boys being, Jessie Smollett Juniors, right? Or little Carlee Russells, just not out here, just not thinking, right? So we focus on character development, physical fitness, self-defense, and critical thinking at the end of the week-long training. And those boys are going to be exhausted. After the week-long training, we have a graduation day for the boys where we pour into them, and the community, the Bibles pour into them, and the community pours into them, and we break bread, and we have a really good time. So you could go to the esophotrainingcamp.com to check out what the parents are saying. We got an opportunity to interview the parents during, before and after the camp. So family, make sure you go to esophotrainingcamp.com, click registration, which is in the top right corner. You come here. All you got to do is fill out this form. It's really short. Checks. Look. All you got to do is check some boxes and some bubbles, write in your name, your email address, and your son's age, and your son's name, okay, and grade level. All right, really, really easy form. So make sure you come on over here. We only have 3 slots left, family. We only have 3 slots. So in the word of one of my colleagues, it will behoove you. That's one of his words. It will behoove you. That's what he tells the students. It will behoove you. So in the words of one of my colleagues, it will behoove you, family, to sign up ASAP. We're only taking 20 boys, and right now we have 17. And I think 2 slots may be getting ready to get filled. And so anyway, if I were you, I would enroll ASAP. We're closing everything by Sunday. We're going to get a final count on Sunday, and that's it, because the camp starts on July the 30th. All right. So not this Sunday, but the following Sunday. And so get your son enrolled. It's free. If you don't live in Baltimore, come down to Baltimore, kick it for a whole week. If you know someone in the DMV area, come through, post up, give your son an experience. All right. Get your son an experience. All right, family. And so I appreciate everyone who tuned in tonight. Make sure, family, that you thumb up the video. Thumb up the video. Also, family, make sure that you share this video. Share this video. So thumb it up, and make sure that you share it. I don't know what's going on. Hold on. I don't know why this is I don't know what's going on. It looks like it's idling on my end. Let me stop sharing again. Looks like it's idling on my end. So let me stop sharing and Isn't that crazy, y'all? I went out and came right back. I went out and came right back. I was like, wait a minute, I'm talking away, and then like the internet just completely went out, and then it came back in. And so anyway, family, all I was asking, and I hope that a lot of it seemed like some folks logged off, didn't even say if your sister was all right. Something could have happened, and you just logging off real fast. Didn't even wait to see if I came back. No, I'm just playing. But I do appreciate everyone who tuned in. I don't know what happened. I guess my internet was a little janky just now, so I'm not sure what happened. But I do appreciate everyone under the sound of my voice who tuned in tonight. I also appreciate the people who will be watching this in the archives. Where is it? Hold on. I'm looking for my outro song. Yeah, here it is. So yeah, family. I appreciate everyone who will be watching in the archives. Family, before you get out of here, make sure that you thumb up the video. Thumb up the video, family. Also, make sure that you share this video. If you're on Twitter, tweet the link. If you're on Facebook, post the link. If you're on any other social media platform, make sure that you get the word out. And you can also copy the link to this discussion, drop it in your family group text, drop it in your friends group text, just get the word out, share. We're constantly inundated with a lot of negative stuff, right? A lot of foolery. So let's get some real information out, some real. This is so not me, y'all. This is StreamYard. I promise you, this is StreamYard. This is so not me. This is StreamYard. At first, I thought my internet was janky, but I think it's StreamYard. So I'm going to go ahead. At first, I was going to play like an outro song, but I think it's just safe just to let it go. So peace and love, family. I'll see you next time. Make sure that you check out my previous discussion on the Tulsa, Oklahoma case that was dismissed, and also the sister that's being detained in Dubai. So make sure that you go back and you check that one out. All right, family. I was going to play an outro song, but who knows if StreamYard is going to be janky again. So I'm going to just let you go. Have a beautiful blacktastic evening. Peace and black power. Uhuru, Sasa, freedom now. Abibi Fahodie, African liberation.